Dave here. How are you? Take my specs off. I'm wearing my specs more and more these days. Today is the 13th of January 2019 in Australia, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I hope everyone's been well and had a good week. The Lafferty family have been back in the hospital again and out, and hopefully that's it for the moment. But we'll see. I don't know what they've done. Anyway, let's have a look at what's going to be on the show. I was having a quick read down through here. There's a couple of people who said that we haven't had a notification. So maybe you need to refresh the subscription. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if they're still doing that little icon bell down there that lets you see what's happening. Sometimes I've noticed with people that I subscribe to, I'm slowing down for a second because I'm just seeing what's happening on the screen down here. I'm getting a green and a red and a yellow indicator on what's happening as far as the stream going out. So if you can let me know if it's going well, it should be, but I'll get back to what I was talking about, sound and vision and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes if I don't click on that bell again, what happens is I kind of drop off YouTube's priority, I guess, and I don't get a notification from some of those people, which, you know, I want the notifications because I love watching other people's channels as well. All good, thank you. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And people are dropping in saying hi. You can keep an eye on the chat down that side. Remember, I'm working back to front. Let me see what we're going to do today. My changing views on the Festool dust separator. I've had a little bit of a love with it, a little bit of a I'm not so sure, and now I'm starting to understand a few more things about it when I've run it up against other things, like I've run it up against my dust deputy, and I'm quite surprised. Now, one of the things I like about it is its strength, and you'd think something plastic, not so strong. This thing is strong. I smashed one of the buckets under the dust deputy. I tried to smash this, wouldn't happen. So, as I say, interesting. I'm going to give you some more details on that a little bit more in the show, and I will do a video review on it. And I am thinking about getting one for myself. This one's been lent to me, so I'm mucking around with it and just running it through all its hoops. I don't like doing a review on things like this until I've got it all squared away. Okay, so the next thing, that win a Rockler corner radius guide. Now, this has been put up by Carbotech. Carbotech are a sponsor that look after the show once a month. They'll give a small thing for me to give away on the show, and sometimes maybe we'll look for a big thing. But at the moment, the reason, you know, the budget's around $100, and I reckon that's fantastic. It's something that you guys in Australia can have a chance to win. I notice in the States, there's a lot of competitions over there that it's a little bit hard for us to enter because, you know, they don't like sending it around the world. I've noticed Jay Bates has got competitions as well, and he has two different ones. He has one for the States and another one which is international. The international one, I think, is a lesser competition. So, you know, if it's based on Australia, well, fair enough. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary as far as the other guys are concerned on YouTube. We'll run it through its paces, and I'm going to show you a couple of interesting things about it that I wasn't aware of until I started playing around with one. Super cool idea for the dust extractor location from Greg. Now, Greg's down in Melbourne, and he's got a bit of a loft area above his workshop, and he's popped his dust extractor up there, but it's awkward to go up and empty the bin. He's come up with a very, very interesting and novel idea. And I'm going to run you through that. He sent a little video up that's got some stills and some video, and pretty cool. All right, the new website is live for the Stanton benches, and thank you so much to everyone who's placing orders with me, and the orders that are going over to the States. And won't be too far down the track that I'll be looking after the UK and Europe as well. So keep your ears open for that, and it's very promising. It's going to be a couple of months, but we are in discussion. All right, what have we got next? Insects and other little creatures in your workshop. Here, I'm going to jump into this one straight away. Now, if you have arachnophobia, you better not watch this. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Here we go. When I walked into my workshop just then, I saw this guy hanging here, and he was kind of looked like he was dead. But when I touched his web, I thought, let's have a little bit of a play. There we go. He says, I'm not dead. I would like to bite something. This is a little huntsman. Isn't he cute? He's only a baby. Don't you think they're fantastic? I love little spiders. Just not the bad ones like funnel webs. This guy's harmless. It might give you a nip, but it's not going to kill you. Gone back to sleep. How is that? I have all sorts of things come and visit me in this workshop, wood shop, whatever you want to call it, garage, lean-to off the back of the garage, all that kind of stuff. It's fun, but it's not something I wouldn't think it's fun if I'd come in here with the lights off, because he was about this level. Now he was hanging from here. Now if he was maybe eye level, and I'd walk straight doing this on my face, that'd be a bit freaky. But if I can see him, and it's not a surprise, well, I'm fine with him. Okay, what's the other thing? Insects, and chat and Patreon again. Thank you so much to everyone. I'm going to read out their names. These are the people that are in the tier that, there's a couple of tiers that, not tiers for eyes, tiers as in levels, of people that I read their names out, and their names scroll through at the end of the show as well. Chris Sullivan, Roger DeBolt, Johannes Mohr, John Wilson, John Parra, Vincent Yang, Andrew Havriliv, John Lafferty, Peter Woolworth, Brian Shaw, Brian Del Vecchio, and Justin Bailey. Thank you so much, guys. I was talking to Justin the other night because he's on a level that I will Skype with you once a month. And I encourage you, if you're on that level, to do it. I can either Skype or do it by video on Messenger. And that's how we did it with Justin the other night. And he was asking me a few pertinent questions regarding his workshop and the structure, and a little bit of questions on roofing and things like that, which, that's my history. I'm a builder. That's what I used to do for a living. So if you interested in doing that kind of stuff, jump in, support me on Patreon, and I'll help you out as much as I can. Obviously, I'm not going to sit down with you for 5 hours a day and go through building projects, but I'll give you as much help as I can. Let me see what's the next thing that we've got here. I'm going to go through a few of these things. We've got a new competition this week, and I've got to remember what it is. It is the Rockler radius corner radius templates. That's what it's called. Anyway. I'm going to have a quick read here first. Beautiful webs during the day, John. Don't like spiders, not one bit, John. Ian had one of those crawl down from behind the sun visor on my car one morning. Woke me up faster than the coffee. Justin was awesome. Thanks again, Dave. Get on it, people. Thanks, Justin. It's, if you guys help me, I'd love to help you as well. That's what it's all about. This channel is about community. It's about sharing, interaction, and if I can help you out, that's fantastic. Let's have a look at a few things here. Some interest stuff that's come up, and I'll see if I can find. I haven't got these in terribly good order, but this picture came up on Facebook during the week. Now that is a Kauri pine tree trunk section, and they have actually carved, I think they've carved a staircase inside the tree. That is unbelievable. So it's in someone's store down there, and there was mention that the store was up for sale for a couple of $1 million, and basically was all built around that tree. So that's that again, pretty incredible. Back to me. What's the next thing we've got? Talking about the Festool separator, Stuart Cotterill has also said that I'll read to you what he said about it. I've got a picture of it there. And I need to flick through Here we go. Dave, I use my separator with the container, which does raise the height but makes cleanup easier. Works fine, but I think edges towards the indulgent side rather than the must-have side. Saves the hassle of having to replace or take the time emptying the bags. And he's got another picture he sent in to me regarding tape measures. And he says, also note you searching for your tape measure somewhat frequently. I'm sorry, I do. Definitely not an aging thing, as here are mine in the shop, and more times than I like to admit, I can't find one. All the best, and glad your bench is having such well-earned success. Thank you for that, Stuart. If you've got things that are happening in your workshop, or you notice something that I'm doing, you think, oh, I understand exactly where you're coming from with that one, Dave. Send me some pictures in and some little stories. You know, got 3 or 4, maybe even more stories today. One of the things that, if you're in my demographic, as far as age is concerned, I purchased a new pair of specs. Now, I should really go and get my eyes fixed. But anyway, these are 3 times. Now, why have I got 3 times specs? These are only 1.5. Just readers. Like this, I can see anything around here clearly. I can see the screen okay. You know, it's just close-up stuff. That happens with age. But I noticed the other day I was trying to read a tape while I was squaring up the CNC out there. And I really need to get down to be able to see 0.5 millimeter or even 1/4 millimeter. And with these guys, I couldn't do it. I got these, and hey presto, the world revealed itself to me again. It's one of those things that just gradually happens. And I think your brain starts compensating for all these kind of things. Now, if you're younger and you're not experiencing this, I'm sure there's other things that happen to you as life goes along, and you think, hey, that never used to happen. What's the story here? But it's not. It doesn't go straight away. It's gradual. What's the next thing? Damien, while we've got these photos happening here, I'll slide down to this one, and Damien has sent some stuff in. He says, Dave, I Ron Polked the Triton extension table. Thanks for your videos. It's great having an Australian doing great stuff. I'm in Gippsland, appreciating your effort. I've got a couple more pictures of his Triton center here. Now, this is probably one of the best Triton setups that I have ever seen. It's truly amazing. Damien, thank you so much for sending that in to us. This is what I'm talking about. Switch the transition again. This is what I'm talking about. If you've got photos of things that you've done that are novel in your workshop, or maybe everyone's doing it, I don't care. But if it's important to you, if it's important enough to you, it's going to be someone else watching, maybe not me personally, but someone else watching will say, that's just the answer I've been after. I'm going to do a quick read down here. Respects Wood, hook up a camera to that spider and so we can get a top-down view. Well, we could do. He's not that big. He's only a little one. The huntsman, that's only a small huntsman. They're normally bigger than that. Huntsmen do not build webs. They run their prey down by being fast runners. Now, how is it? I understand that. But that's the first time I've seen a huntsman hanging from his own web. You know, you learn something every day. John Parra, staircase in the most... yes, it is. It's absolutely amazing. John... Dave, tell the viewers the name of who sells the world-famous Dave Stanton bench. Well, there's Luke in the States, and basically if you go onto my website, which is stantonbench.com.au, there's a little thing in there, you fill in a form and it flicks an email to me, and I see who's got to look after it, whether it's me or Luke, or whether it's going to go to Europe soon. And I forward that email on to them. And Luke has sent out some benches to different people all around the States. Now let's have a look at this one. This is Richard. Now Richard's got his Stanton bench in the cardboard box up the back. That's not his the Stanton bench in the foreground. That's one that he made by himself. And he thought he wanted something a little bit more accurate. So you can see he's even written his name on it like I've done with mine, Richard's MFT. And that cardboard box up the back in the middle of the shot, that is the new Stanton bench waiting to be assembled. So I want you to send me a picture in, Richard, when it has been assembled, and we can have a bit of a squiz at that. And just like, well, while we're doing it, why not? We can have a look at how Greg went with his. Now I've got to slide down to here. This is a quick video that Greg's done, and some photos that he did, and I've put it all into a video. This is great. I'm so appreciative when people do this and they get the bench, they're so happy with how it's gone, and they take photos of while they're assembling it. They send all the photos into me, and I can put it in a little video, and sometimes I'll throw them up on YouTube. Sometimes I'll just show you guys here. I love it. And he's wearing an interesting shirt there, aren't you, Greg? Oh, he's an eye, Greg. There you go. It's a great bench. And the great thing about I put a photo on Instagram this morning. I'm doing some work where I'm making the new project that I'm doing at the moment has got some 3 meter long poles or posts, and I'm machining them all with the CNC. And one part of it where I had to cut it to length, I clamped it down onto 2 of the benches because I've got a couple here. I try making them out of different materials, and I had the 2 of them there, and I had the 3 meter post on top, locked it down. I was amazed. I was amazed at how well it worked. Anyway, Johannes Williams, he is a male, smaller, and the girls eat them. Oh, that happens with lots of spiders in the world. And I've also seen pictures of female spiders with all the babies over the back, and they're all over it. And then she just sacrifices herself, lies down, and all the babies eat her. It's a amazing world, isn't it? What's the next thing we've got? I'm going to start ticking some of these things off when I can find my pencil, which I sharpened the pencil up and everything, ready for the show this morning. And I've lost the rotten thing. I can't believe it. Oh dear, there's another one here. This one will do me. All right, I'm going to do some ticking off. So, Stuart, you've got to go to the corner again. Okay, the Kauri pine tree. Stuart, which I spoke about you. Damien's Triton pictures. Richard, he's got his bench there. Okay. Greg with the assembly of his bench. Spider hanging out with me. Whilst we're still on it, let's jump into this next thing, and then we'll go into doing a little bit of a demo over with the Rockler stuff. I appreciate there's a lot of people who watch the show as a recording, and they skip through all of this kind of social stuff at the beginning, and they'll go straight to the meat, if you want to call it the meat, of the sandwich, where I'll be doing a demonstration. So if you're just flicking through at the moment and watching the recording, it's going to be in a minute. Won't be long. Okay, so we also have, if I've got the picture here, I think I do. Maybe I don't. I might try and find that picture a little bit later. Damien, Kauri, Stuart, Greg's bench. No, I haven't got that particular picture. All right, let's jump over to the demonstration over there, and let's see if I've got that one. Close-up cam, here we go. So you can see I've got set up over here. I've got to turn the monitor around a little bit as well while I'm over here. So I'm not quite in the picture yet. I'm turning the monitor around so I can see what's going on. And I'll grab this one here. And here I am. Okay. Now, this guy here. This is the jig that holds onto. This is the handle that holds onto the actual template. Now the templates come in all different sizes. So you've got 1/8 of an inch radius, and 1/4 inch, and 3/8 and 1/2 an inch. And this one I've got on there is a 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and 1 inch. And then the large one, I'll take it out of the plastic bag. No picture in picture at the moment. No, I'm not doing that at the moment. Here we go. So this one is 1 1/4 inch, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, and 2 inch. Now they say when you get up to a certain size, it's best to cut the radius off first, or basically cut it off with a jigsaw or a bandsaw. I'm going to just use a Japanese saw and cut across the corner, but I'm not going to actually cut this template, but you understand what I'm saying. One of the funny things I found in here, you read the instructions and it's got all the information about the safety and what have you on the back here. They even recommend, this made me smile, maintain these instructions and warnings as long as you own the tool. Keep in a place where they will be readily available for reference. I'm wondering if they want me to actually frame this and pop it up on the wall where I keep my jigs. That'd be fun. But all of this safety stuff, and the guy demonstrating it's got a ring on. Now, I wear a ring. That's all there is to it. When I was building, it used to come off because these things catch and I don't want to lose a digit. So, maybe it's being picky of me, but I wouldn't have had that ring in the photo. Where are we up to? Let's see. Now, the other thing is, there's no mention of minimum width stock. Now, this is just a little piece of Merbo, I think, that I've got lying around. And this is going to be too narrow across this way for this jig. And I only discovered this by having a look at it this morning. Look. It's not catching properly. So on the back are these lugs. And the lugs are there to stop, to locate the stock. Now, you can probably do it with that and catching on all of this, but you'd want the stock to be at least half the width of the base plate. That's just my thoughts. I don't know if that's what Rockler tell people to do. The minimum thickness that you can put in it is 1/4 inch, because again, these lugs that stop the timber sliding off the side or locate the jig on the timber are a certain depth, and if it's anything less than 1/4 inch stock, these will hold the jig up off the stock, and that wouldn't be good. I'm going to do a quick read. Trying to get Rick Schnellerman signed into Google, otherwise he'll be on delay until March. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm reading a bit more. Saying a lot of people get the silicone rings to wear while woodworking, etc. Just in case. That's a good idea. Never wear any jewelry in the shop at any time. Barry Doxy, I scan or download all instructions, store as Peter. Well, that's a smart move. Michael Christophers is saying for married men to buy the jig to make the to make the wife happy. I like that one, Michael. That's a cracker. Or maybe if you buy the jig, you'll get a wife. I don't know. Hold on. Let me check inside the box here. Nope. No wife in there. All right. So I wanted to run you through a couple of those things first. The jig sits on top of the timber, and see what I mean? It just slid straight down the side then. So that is too narrow. Now you want to know what size I say is too narrow? This is just David talking. It's not anyone else. That is 66 millimeters. Okay. That way. That's around 2.5 inches. 3 inches is fine. This piece here is 89 millimeters. And I can say that even without using the new glasses. So let's have a little bit of a play with it. Some 1/4 inch plywood that I've got. And I had a little muck around with it yesterday, so I know that it works. And it works very well. I am going to move these things that are light out of the way. Pop that over there. And that one there. And I have the thing set up, the router already set up to the height. Just getting some earmuffs or some eye muffs. How cool is that? And you got to get these things. These are great. So Greg Begeni won them last week, and he received them. He got home. He was been away interstate during the week. Got home, and his son said, "Dad, look what happened. Something arrived from Dave." Actually, it was from George. So, being safe. See this? Glasses on and everything underneath these things. They're fantastic. First of all, what I do is I get down and I check the height of the cutter that it's going to actually cut. I'm going to raise that up ever so slightly. And I do that underneath the router table. Put that up to the side. Going to raise it up a little. That's fine. Unlock it. I'm not going to use dust extraction, even though Rockler say to use dust extraction. I'm not going to at the moment. I need to put the little guy in there to be able to turn it on. Safety is what it's all about. Pop that in there. Okay. This, I'm going to separate it first before I pop it on. That is the handle. It says, hold here. Let me see if I can get it so you can see that. There you go. It's got the anti-slip on the back. I think they've been watching what I do. And let's go to a 3/4 inch radius, which is 19.05 mil. And it's quite easy to pop it on. Clicks in, you heard that. And hold here. Look at that, straight away, it's not going anywhere. There's no mucking around with it on wider pieces. There you go. Now I've found it's a good idea when you've pulled it in, just to check that it's still holding everything correctly. This way I'm going to put it against there and go around and follow and stop. Now that's also pretty good. This part here stops you sliding through. So I'm going to turn it on. The router might make a bit of noise, so be aware. That wasn't too hard, was it? For a pretty good result. I'm trying to get in front of things that are a higher contrast. There. All right, let's try it on something bigger. This is a piece of Meranti or Pacific maple, whatever you want to call it. And we'll go up to 1 inch on the radius. Pop this out, turn it around till it's to the 1 inch. Drop her in. Get back under the router table. Get this so it comes up to the right height. That's pretty good there. Unlock it. I might drop the camera down and you can watch it from a slightly different angle. How's that? Ebony, looks good. Ace is watching with me. I asked if he liked. He said, yes, I'm getting a swing set. Well, before I go any further, Ace is my grandson. And this here, Ace, is part of the swing set. This is a swing set that I'm building, and it's all been machined on the CNC, which is magic. I might show you a little bit of that later on. But that's been a learning curve for me as well. Michael, I need 2 horse when I fitted the blast gates, mini Stanton bench apron. Hold on a second. There's a whole lot of stuff there. I'm going to get back into this demo. Anyway, hi there, Ace. How are you? Here we go, 1 inch radius. I'm going to start on the other side, pull it all in, and turn her on. That's that one. That was pretty quick and decent. Very nice. There we go. So we know it works. Anyone interested in watching the large 2 inch? I might do that. I'm going to go to Carl Cam for this one. Where are we? And I better move a couple of those things because it might say the winner on it. Oh dear. Dear, dear, dear. The things when you're showing the world everything. Here we go. We're going to transition and bring the 2 inch over with this. This should do it. All right. I think that's there, all right. Swing this around as well. Alrighty. I love it. Life's fun. Well, it is for me. That's the 2 inch. I'll bring it up to there, see if you can see it. Good. And I'm going to put it on this corner, and they're suggesting it's going to be too much, so I'm going to scribe that, or just mark around it I should say. Do the same on this one, and use the Japanese folding saw. These things are amazing. Now I'm on the Stanton bench with a cushion strip, so it's fine. Can you see? Someone asked if I was going to be the Blue Mountain Samurai Carpenter. Maybe I can be with this thing. No, not taking anything away from the Samurai Carpenter on YouTube. He's pretty good. There we go. And fold it up and go straight back in my toolbox. Love it. Okay, so there we go. Those are taken off. I can put the radius jig back on, and I'll switch the cameras again back over to this little guy here. Yep, that helps if I've got this turned around. Spider view. Are there chamfer plates? I have no idea. That's a good idea, John. Transition. There we go. Get to see all of me this time. And I'll run it through. Put the eye muffs back on. Okay, great, can see cut better. Damien Lappin, morning. Damien, I think maybe it was you that sent the stuff in for the Triton stuff. Justin, looks like it would be possible to not use the handle, clamps down the back, black base, use a handheld router or trimmer if you don't have a router table. I guess that's a possibility, Justin, but I haven't given it any thought. So I would need to, get my head around that one. Spider view. Does that saw fit in a sustainer when folded? Oh yeah, easy, easy, easy. Okay, here we go. I'll leave this camera off for the second. and turning it on. I'll go to this view. There and there. That's so good. We'll go to the other one. There we go. All right, I'm going to switch it back again. And to the main camera and transition. And we'll go around to this one back here. And about there. So what do you reckon? You wanted to know whether that would fit in a sustainer. I've got a sustainer here. And there's your answer. Fits in there with plenty of room. All right, 22, where are we up to? Where are we up to? Mouse is down there. Give me a second, guys, sorry about that. And keyboard. Where are we? It's a great jig. It works great. If you want to win it, you're in Australia, go for it. Click the Show More button down the bottom below this video and go into the running to win it. Why not? As I say, Australia only, because it is being supplied by Carbotech. If you want to buy one, I've also put an Amazon link down there for the States. And I've also put a link to Carbotech's page where they actually sell it. If you decide, or if you don't win it, it'll be there. Now also remember that the videos that, the live shows after they've been up for the week, I leave them there for about a week, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit less, and I shunt them over to my other channel. So if you're looking for previous stuff, it's all in there archived. Let me see, John, how about some more thumbs up? Ken, Dave, I signed up as a patron this time, went through. Excellent, thanks Ken. Where are we? What's the next thing on my list? I'm feeling a bit hungry. Tummy's rumbling. The separator, a couple of things. It does reduce the velocity, the speed of the air traveling down the hose. I do not think it makes any difference to the air pressure. Now, I'm going to mention a couple of things here. I have two dust deputies that I've got, one on a Triton dust bucket and one on a metal tin, and it's quite substantial. Now, through the from the CT26, I did another little test. I put my hand over the end of the hose and blocked it off, and watch what happened. You'll be surprised. I'll show you that the tin can got a massive crease in it. The dust bucket, which I've had for ages, look at it. the air pressure smashed it. Now this is a fair age, this one. So it's nothing against Triton. This is a fair age, and it's been outside, so it's had ultraviolet light on it. I did that one first, then I put it on the steel tin that I've got the other cyclone on top of, and it creased it. So I don't know whether it would have actually crushed it in the end. I put it on this thing, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It went fine. It sucked the plastic bag up, right up to the underside of the cyclone, or the separator in there. It's like a Thane separator. And it was fine. So that made me think a little bit about what dust deputies, so Oneida, or Anita, I guess that you call them, they make a version that goes on top of the Festool dust extractors, and that one is a whole lot stronger than their standard one with the normal walled bucket. They have, they got, what was I going to say? I was distracted by something down there. They have a very, very substantial black bucket with the cyclone sitting up above it. And I reckon that would be strong. It wouldn't break. But the thing is, you have that cyclone sitting up like this, up above, and it makes it almost impossible. You can't put anything else on top. That's all there is to it. With this one, I can keep stacking up on top if I want to, if that's important to me. So, you know, the good thing about it as well is you disconnect that and you just lift it out and away you go. And you can see I've been using it in the workshop. As I say, this is one that they've lent me. And at the beginning, I was like a lot of people. I've been reading reviews that other people have been doing and watching, and people have been saying, oh, you know, maybe a bit of a novelty. And I was kind of thinking along the same lines. Only the Festool fanboys would be buying them. And then I looked at a little bit more of the engineering of them and how simple they are. And then I measured the wind speed, and whilst I've just shown you the air pressure is fantastic coming out of that, the wind speed, and I use a little thing called an anemometer. Now that's a hard word to say, but it's this little guy here. I've had this for a fair while. And this measures wind speed in kilometers an hour, meters a second, all that kind of stuff. And that's the way I like to use it, because I can relate to that. I can't relate to how many meters a second or I can't relate to how many cubic meters a minute or cubic feet per minute or cubic feet an hour. I can't relate to that. But because I used to ride a push bike as a kid, I can relate to how fast wind is blowing by the speeds that I got up to. And I can also relate to it by sticking my hand out of a car. You know, you're not supposed to in Australia, but you know, we do. And at different speeds, and you can think, geez, I wouldn't want to be out there in that wind. Well, it was very, very interesting running different hoses and all sorts of things running straight out of the machine, straight out of the top of this, straight out of the dust deputy. And the comparisons really, really did not make sense. They really surprised me. I'm going to do a video on all of this, and you might be interested to watch it, because I was just, I don't know, I'm tell you now, I'm thinking about getting one. They surprised me. It surprised me a lot. And I've been using it in here, and it's been great. It's been absolutely fantastic. All right, I'm going to do some reading. What's the time? 1:45. Okay, Ebony, Ken had a question earlier, dust collection for a one-car garage, any advice? And can you tell me, please? Okay, I don't think you can use the dust separator. You can, Russ, you can. And I use it with my little CTL Sis. And I was surprised as well. The hose is perfect. Yeah, it does, mate. It goes straight on it. Look, I'll show you now, before I answer Ken's question. Or I'll talk about Ken's question. depends on what the amount of space you've got makes no difference. The thing is what you're collecting the dust from. If you're using a Dirty Big 15 or 20 inch planer thicknesser, you need at least a 2-horse machine. If you're using, it depends, doesn't really matter too much on the larger the diameter pipe up to the machine, and then you reduce down to a 4-inch to increase the velocity if you're going to be sucking the air up like this one here. Great. I've got a 4-inch main down the middle of this, which is a PVC line, and it works fantastic as well. So dust collection is a science in itself. You have to, you just have to do it. My CNC out there, I run a 1-horse dust extractor on it, and it lives outside now. And again, 4-inch PVC piping is what I've used, and I've used the anti-static system that I've suggested to people to use, and it works fantastic for me. I've never had an issue. I keep on telling people on the video, and even now I tested it on the weekend, or sorry, yesterday. The hairs on my arm, before I put the anti-static remedy that I throw up, used to stand up on end. Now, nothing. They don't move at all. It's not because they've got too tired. That's just they don't stand up. All right, Russ, here we go. This is my little CTL sys, and it has the inlet down here. You want to see the separator on it? Not a problem. This is going to be the same size as the top of your mini or MIDI up the top here. It's the same, exactly the same. So let's take the hose out. This is one of the reasons they've designed a 90-degree bend. This is going to go straight down into there, like so, as you'd be familiar with yours, Russ. Yes, David, with the mini, not a problem. Okay, and then we've got the separator. And I'm going to pop that up on top. So now I've got it there. All right, so you're concerned about length. Not trying to be rude. There we go. And you'll see straight in. Ta-da! If the show today has been worthwhile for you guys to have just seen that demonstration, it will work perfectly with your mini and your MIDI. It works perfectly with my little CTL sys. And you know what, how about we do a little bit more of a demo? I'm going to turn this up a little so you can see it there. And I'll actually plug this in and turn it on, and you can see it work. I wasn't going to show you guys this part. I was going to save it for the video, but you know what the... Let's do it. Let's do it. Give me a second. I'll plug this in over here. And I'll get the hose here. Plug it into that. You're going to get better speed using the larger diameter hose, the 36. And also, you can use the 27. 27's fine on sanding and also on anything that the 27 is designed to fit onto, like the domino and sanding, it's fine. Now this is my little CTL sys. This is only a 3,000 litres an hour, or minute, whatever it is. I think it's 3,000 litres a minute. Oh no, hour, I don't know. I can't remember. You know, you're old. Here we go. Works fine. Here, I'm vacuuming stuff up off the bench here so you can see it. I tipped the camera up, didn't I? Okay, watch this. Look in there. It pulls it, but it won't break it. It's amazing. This is so strong. There you go. It works. You know, you're going to have a lot of people say that they're overpriced and all. It's cheaper than the Dust Deputy one that's designed to go on the top of CTs. It's more convenient. I can put things up on top there. I can stack up as high as I want. If I want to be a little bit canny with the amount of stuff that goes on top, I leave this one out and this goes straight onto there. This can go on this direction, or I can turn it around and go the other direction. And you might say, well, why would I want to do that? And I will tell you in the video, there's a couple of reasons why you might want to do that. There's only one thing that I don't understand that the Festool engineers did, and that was why they put the T-lock system on this side, not on the other side. I don't understand. On the receiver, that is. Have a think about it. Okay, many hand tools. All right, let's take this off there. We'll take that down, and hopefully that's answered some questions for you guys. See, this is one of the great things I like about having this kind of relationship with Festool. They send me stuff, and there's no commitment from me to go one way or the other. You know, I'm a free agent. I can say what I want. And this is, I like to test stuff, you know, and this is, I like it. I gotta tell you, I like it. Pop this down. All right, and again, I like to have a look at stuff for a little while prior to telling you guys about it. Where are we? Down to the bench again, about there. I think that's about it. Now, anemometer. This thing's a cracker. So I couldn't say it at the beginning because I looked at this and I thought it's a wind speed meter. And I was trying to pronounce A-N-E-N-O meter. You try it, because you're going to get tongue-tied. Anemometer, anemometer. But if you just think about ometer, like in a speedometer, or a odometer, or a hygrometer, it's all ometer, not ometer. So if you can say Annan, as in Mount Annan, but it's not spelled the same way, A-N-E-N, you're there. And ometer at the end, and you'll be able to impress everyone. Now that's not word of the week. It's not a rubbish name. It's a real word. Okay, let's get back to the question. Ken's reply was many hand tools. Okay, Ken, a lot of hand tools. You're not going to, so they're hand power tools, I'm guessing. So you're not going to worry too much about a main dust extractor. I would be looking at something like a CT or a Mini or a MIDI. If the budget can't go to that, well then jump on board with something like one of the Ryobi dust extractors. They do a fine job, except for they're noisy. That's the problem that I don't. And inside, I think I've actually shown a review. When I show you the review of the CT26, when I did that, I actually went down to Festool in Melbourne at Tool Technics, and they had one. We pulled it apart. That's one of the great things. Again, I get to see all these things, and I let you know. So when they pulled it apart, I was asking them, now, why is this better than the other ones? They had someone else's brand there as well, and they pulled that apart, and they're showing me all the comparisons. Thermal overload in the Festools. The Festools now have got this, what do you call it? It trips. If it gets to a certain, it's got a circuit breaker on it. Not trips, it's got a circuit breaker on it now, which is fantastic. So all of these things are why, you know, engineering costs money. So that's where that's coming from. So Ken, a Ryobi or a Zito, whatever, but remember that they're going to be noisy. Something that's got an auto on, auto off, so when you plug your power tool into it, it will turn itself off when you turn the power tool off, turn it on when the power tool turns on. Okay, we need to know who won, and because it's coming up to 5-2. Where are we? Well, we're even going to do some more stuff. Greg Wyatt's dust extractor. Here we go. Now, I need to get ready because Greg has set this up, and he said, Dave, you need to set it up so when you start it, it'll be all good. Start talking. Now, I posted on your Facebook page recently that I installed my dust extractor in my roof cavity of my workshop. Here's the solution to emptying the sawdust drum. I decided the easiest way was to be able to empty it from underneath. I bought a 150mm PVC threaded access coupling and cap, hoping that 150 is big enough, but it's the biggest I could find. Cut a hole in the bottom of the drum slightly bigger than the pipe, laminated 2 pieces of 12mm ply, cut a hole in the middle to fit the pipe firmly and cut it to the fit under the drum and screwed it on. To prevent a mess, when I unscrewed the cap, I made a flat valve using a disc of 12mm ply and a bit of 19mm steel tube. Put a handle on one side. Here is the whole thing dry fitted. Cut a hole in the ceiling. It's not 19mm yellow tongue. Pushed the access coupling through and screwed it into the ply ring. This was a fiddle by myself. I'm really happy with it. I have emptied the small amount out, but not sure how it will go when full. Going to make a tube from calico. I can use a sewing machine, which I will hook onto the ceiling and will terminate in a bin. There's the hole through the base. Greg, thank you so much for that, and also for all of your timing. I didn't know whether to talk fast or slow, but we got there. We got there. How cool is that? What a brilliant idea. You know, it's just outside the square. Reading a bit more. Hoping it's cooling off in the Blue Mountains. It is cooling off beautifully in the mountains, but it's going to be hot again. John, I've been a wood butcher for years, and like to say, now I feel like I'm just starting off with all Festool names and 4 tools. Peter, Ken Wheels, have you thought about building a mobile cart for a movable system? Buy a Festool on wheels from Johannes. Ken, Peter, that's what I'm thinking of doing, is for large projects I'll be using in the backyard. Good one, Doctor. Nice work, Greg. Okay, so we've got some stuff here from Ken as well. See if I can find that. Here we go. So Ken has got some projects that he sent in to me. This is where I've been doing my woodwork currently. It's too damn hot in the garage, no aircon, where in the lounge I can keep nice and cool, not melt. Let me see if I've got a photo. This is a drill station that he made. I put the wrong photo up first. Sorry, Ken. So there it is. That's another unit that he's been making. Few photos of what I've been made. I'm working on the drill charging station, and I'll throw that back up again for you, Ken. There it is there. Made as a Christmas gift for a friend, a church member. And then we come down to number 3, and this is another unit that he's been making. Now, Ken is doing a fantastic job. Ken Wheels does imply that he's on wheels. He gets around on a wheelchair. So I think this is a champion effort that he's been doing here. So how cool is that? I think Ken needs a little bit of a round of applause as well, as does Dr. Greg. And what's the next thing we've got on the list? I'm getting through it all. I'm getting through it. We've got Ken and that. I think that's it, Damien. I've done that. And Stuart and that and that. Ken's pictures there. Who won? Now, Bob Macker has also sent some stuff in for me, but I'll do that next week. I'm not going to get it done this week. I've run out of time. Let's read a couple of these entries. This is for the GRS16, this guy here. The GRS16 PE. If you have a Festool, a Triton, or a Makita track saw, this will work perfectly on it. I think last week I mentioned that it will work on a DeBolt. It will not work on a DeBolt. That's a totally different system. So, here we go. Here's some, there was a heap of entries for this. Everyone wants them. Here we go. Neil Henderson. Now this is, I'm going to put the other glasses on for this because I had to type it up, or put it on extremely small print. Here, that's a whole lot easier. Getting the GRS16 would be terrible. Then I couldn't blame my tools anymore for my bad joinery. Here's another one. I own a Triangle Dogs Clips path guide, all precise and a joy to use. James Kosharek, GRS16 PE to square cuts in plywood with my Triton rails. See, Triton. They make a lovely. That's not the Triton, but I was pointing towards the Triton dust bucket. Unfortunate that I guess it's the age on that. It just smashed it. It's just smashed it. Now I've had that bucket probably 14 years. So that's not bad. That's not bad. But air pressure is air pressure, and what it did to a steel tin, as well, it crumpled the edge. I put it on one of those dust deputies, not a super, just the standard dust deputy, on a normal large garbage bin, and it crushed it. Pretty amazing. The air pressure that we get around in, it doesn't worry us. Tom, Hulse guide rail connectors and path dogs have been tempting me for a while now. Look, there's a heap of entries here, but the winner who said, he only put one entry in. I know there's a few people put a few entries in. This is one person. GRS16PE is easy to set up. And that's the one that Rafflecopter picked out from all of your details that you sent in. This competition is about a game of skill. Game of skill. Remember, you have to tell me in 20 words or less why you like it, and that's the winner. I put all of the ones that were, worded that way, like into Rafflecopter. Otherwise, you couldn't get into the competition. And then Rafflecopter picked out the one it thought would have been the best one. Getting around that, you know what I mean. Now, Les Sketcher. Les, you're the winner, buddy. And I will be getting in touch with TSO and they will ship that out to you as quickly as they can. What have we got? I think that's 12 o'clock, just gone 12. I'm going to do it. Which glasses? I don't know. These ones. Yep, these ones work. Going to have a look down the side here, make sure that I have covered everything down here. It's been a busy show, and I'm sorry that we took so long at the beginning with all of the other stuff that I had to get through. But I thought I wanted to try and leave myself enough room to do the demonstrations and be able to just stop that. I wanted to be able to share everyone's input, because I feel that's important. And if you don't feel that's important and it bores you, well, I'm sorry, I can't help everyone's personality all the time. I'll try and address everything as I go along, but if you become impatient, there's nothing I can do about that. All right, let's have a quick read down here. Still cannot work out to go into the drawers for some things, perhaps my inability. So what you do is go down into the Show More button below this image, and it will expand out, and there's a whole heap of information down there. It's what the show's about today. You keep sliding down and you'll find that there is a link for the competition as well. I put it in there. If you can't see it on a mobile phone, maybe have a look on a desktop computer, and away you go. All right. Congrats. It's Les, not Liz. L-E-S. Les. Lee, everyone, maybe, am I not speaking correctly? Okay, thanks for another great show. Great show, Dave, as always. Thank you. John, Julia is on her way home now. Excellent, John. Excellent. Who's next? You got someone in the car ready to take him over to the hospital? It's a bit cheeky. Respects Wood, I think Rafflecopter dislikes me. No, look, it just keeps on. It does the selection. That's all there is to it. It's not a game of chance. It's a game of skill, and then it does. Okay, well, everyone had the same skill, so then it picks it. You're all thinking of Julia and you. Okay, end of the show now to finish cleaning up for open house. Good luck with that, Michael. Great show. As always, things come up through the chat. Ken, UJK Path Guide System. Can I get it here in Australia? Yes, you can get it from Carbotech. Not a problem. Keep well all again next week. Russ, all right. Great show. As always, Dave, thanks so much for the demonstration, answering the questions about the MIDI. Not a problem. If you're interested in getting that thing, the separator, they are, for the first 3 months of 2019 in Australia, I think they're doing a promotion on it. I don't know if it's cheaper or whether it's the same price and just saying, here it is, we've got it. But yeah, as I say, I like it, and I know it's a piece of plastic, but all of it's a piece of plastic. The sustainers, they work for me. It works. Wait for the video to come out, because there might be some things in it that say, no, it's a deal breaker, I don't want it. Or you might say, that's the thing that I was curious about, and I'm going to get it. So your call, whatever you want to do. Peter, great show. Rob Hampton, great. Thanks again, John. Yes, all that. And where are we? This is it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Look after yourselves, be nice to each other, and I shall see you next week. Hello Switz, you're asking about my little Japanese folding saw. How you find out the make and model, I don't know off the top of my head, but go into Carbatec's website, carbatec.com.au, and have a look for Japanese saw or folding saw in their search engine, and it will come up. They have 2 or 3 of these. One is a heavy duty one, which is designed for pruning, and this one is basically their carpenter saw. And this, I've got both of them. They're both fantastic saws. I love them. They're great. Okay, I'm going to do a quick read down here. Ian, great show. Ken Wills, great show. See you all next week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.